Thank you, Lynette. So my name is Winnie Inyanje. I'm a teacher, a high school teacher, and I as well teach primary. I love music. I teach music. I sing. I take part in anything to do with art. I'm a mom. I've got an 11-year-old boy. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add to that? I think that's good for a beginning.
Yes, this is
Yeah.
good for a beginning.
Yes.
And I'm glad you came. And
Yes.
how was the dance?
Oh, the dance was perfect. It was fun. Yeah, it was great to get our bones going.
And we're going to talk to Madame Winnie today so that we can discuss something she wanted to talk about. And before, when I asked her, she said she wanted us to talk about communication. So, this is the dancing brain again. And by now, you need to know that the dancing brain is about talking about mental health and having fun at the same time. And then at the same time, this is about funds drive also. Every time I have a guest like this, they contribute 1,000 shillings, and then they rally their friends to also contribute a hundred. This money would go towards people who are less fortunate in the society, with whom even when we want to talk about mental health, it doesn't work well because they do not even have food to eat. So this is towards helping them also as we help their mental health too. So, Madam Winnie, thank you and welcome for coming. I would really love you to talk more about yourself and tell us more about you. But before then, how was the dance?
The dance was lovely. Yeah, I hope everybody has seen it and I hope you're going to join in the dancing. It was refreshing, lovely. Yeah, I enjoyed myself. Right?
Right?
Yes.
We start from far when we were little girls,
Right.
but I'm so glad that she's doing well, and we are here to talk about a mental health issue of her choice. So
Yes.
tell me, what do you
Yeah.
want us to discuss today?
By the way, I love talking about mental issue because this is something that's affecting everybody, and it's something I feel we need to bring out to the open and highlight all the areas that are affecting society at the moment. So I had talked to Lynette, as she says, she's my not high school, childhood friend, and I wanted to talk about communication
Uh-huh.
because so many times we struggle with the way we communicate. We have people communicating in different ways. You assume that you've got the message, but sometimes you haven't, and sometimes they're also not communicating. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
So I'd just like to understand what the communication styles are, and as we relate to people, how do we communicate? What different styles are there, and is there a better one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe, as a psychologist, you can tell us. Yeah.
Yes, I think, by the way, many people do not know what communication is. And especially, we do not know what our communication styles are. On Sunday, I was listening to our bishop, Bishop Oginde, talking, and in his speech, he said that there are people who listen to, who listen to reply, they're listening actively to reply. They're not really listening. And by the way, most of us are almost like that. So you find that there are different types of communication styles, and I think this is something that many people don't know. The first one is passive communicator. A passive communicator, basically, I'll make it short, I can go a whole year. But a passive communicator, basically, is the kind of a person who might not tell you what they want. They really find it difficult to talk about their needs, and then they're more of helping other people instead of themselves. So you find that this is a person who gets frustrated easily. And then some of the behaviors that you'll see in a passive communicator is they'll use, like other behaviors that will show you they're not happy, but they've not told you they're not happy. Like, for example, they might use silent treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, someone is just, you do not know what has happened. They've gone silent. And you're
Yes.
like, okay,
Yeah.
now where do we begin from? Where do we start? So you find that most of the emotional attachment to this communication style is frustration, is anger, and then also this thing of a want to revenge because people are not taking me well. And then they also feel like victims. They're always feeling like they're being victims, yet they've not told us what their problem is. That is just a short, but if you were to go on a session, we really look at it keenly, because you realize that these things begin with thoughts. What is it that I constantly think about me? And a passive communicator, across board, there are people who have self-esteem issues. Yes. Then the second one is aggressive. Aggressive is someone who's forever on the fight. They're on defensive. They're fighting. It is me, myself, and I. I want this. This is what it's going to be. It is me. It is me. It is me. And then you find that sometimes even their body language is quite intimidating. Like someone looks like they can fight you. And most bullies, you find that they are aggressive communicators.
Yes.
And I think in school you must have seen a lot of that. So aggressive communicators is about me, and they do that aggressively. Their tone, their body language is usually aggressive. Their tone, is usually quite aggressive. They're harsh. Someone you talk to and they're harsh every time. And then one thing that comes very strongly about aggressive communicators is suspicion. They are forever suspecting. Uh-huh. Yes, they're suspicious. If apparently, like sometimes I've seen people who have aggressive communicators as bosses, it becomes very difficult because it's like they're always like, what are these people saying about me? What is this? And so it becomes very difficult. And you find that the emotional feelings that are attached to this, Most of the time is low self-esteem. As much as we think aggressive communicators have it all, no, it is low
Wow.
self-esteem, yes, and then anger issues. They're usually highly irritable, so they have anger issues. And then also you'll find that they feel inadequate, they feel frustrated. Some of them feel inferior, or others feel superior. They feel like everybody they're talking to does not know anything apart from him. So that is one character that comes out for a passive aggressive person. Then again, as we go forward, there are people who now combine both.
Ah.
They are passive and then at the same time they're aggressive. So we call that passive aggressive behavior. And when you realize most people, including myself, I've been a passive aggressive communicator. In that, and now the difference between someone who's passive aggressive, what they use, their behavior, they're the people who usually sabotage.
Okay.
Like even if you're in an institution, you realize there are people who are usually sabotaging things. And then there are people who might not tell you that, no, I'm not going to do this. But then they'll say, yes, I'm going to do it. Then either do it badly or not do it at all.
Okay.
Then, kama ni mtu, the phone is off. You're like, hey, you had promised me this. When you're trying to call, the phone is off. That usually happens when someone is passive aggressive. And then people who gossip, rumor mongers. There are people who usually fall in that category of passive aggressive. You find that emotionally they have a lot of insecurities. At the same time, low self-esteem is disturbing them. And then also they do not just know how to handle other people. So they get passive. When they're passive, they do not talk about their needs. When they're aggressive, when they feel something, they're being done for something that is not right, they come out and fight. Unfortunately, most people who commit crime or people who you find that one day, and I think you've seen it in news, yeah, where someone comes out and they just kill because
Out
they
of the
keep,
blues.
yeah, they keep and they're very vengeful. One thing, one emotion that comes with passive aggressiveness is revenge. I must revenge, and they don't tell you. So when you listen to someone who's passive aggressive, they'll have words like, "One day I'll do something to you," and you keep on thinking, they keep on saying that and nothing happens. So sometimes that's what happens. And I'm sure that in the community you've had, or even you know what your own what your own communication style is. So I know you might ask, so what are we supposed to do? The best communication style is being assertive. In fact, if you were to describe who an assertive communicator is, it is someone who tells you the truth at all times.
Yeah.
They are honest. They are self-assured and they know what they want. But basically, sometimes people confuse assertiveness and aggressiveness. They think that if I've done this, that is being assertive. Yes. But you realize that sometimes being assertive, you can be soft-spoken, but you're still assertive. Where that you know that when Lynette says no, it is a no. When something is wrong, I'll tell you, Winnie, look here, I don't like that. Yes.
Okay.
But you see, when the times I used to be passive aggressive, you'll tell me, Lynette, come and do for me this. I'm like, okay, I'll see. Then tomorrow you find my phone is off.
Oh, so you have been through this journey.
Yes, I've been
Yeah.
through
So
this
as
journey.
you're talking, I'm just thinking, the different ways we communicate. Is it
Yes.
because of our experience? Sometimes our experience has sort of made us lean to one side of communicating, and maybe we'd like to be assertive, as you're saying, but we become passive or aggressive because we're carrying loads from
Yes.
our history that we are not possibly willing to face, and it causes us to communicate in a certain way. And if that is so, how can we change that? Because I would like to imagine that it's not static. We're not static to one
communication way, we can change that. So
Yes.
is it because of what we've been through? If so, how then can we walk a journey of changing that to be assertive communicators?
Yep, I love what you brought about. You find that most of us adopt these communication styles as we are growing up, especially during childhood.
Okay.
You know, when you look at a baby, when a baby is just born, they are very clear in their communication. In fact, I think they are usually quite assertive. I want this, I want this.
Yes.
Full
Or they
stop.
cry. Or
You
they
know,
start
they cry. Or they start, you know, or they see a child with something and they want it. They might even become aggressive a bit and just go and pick. Yes. So you find that when a child comes into the world, they become assertive. But as we bring them up, you're forever telling a child something that, you know, works on their self-esteem. Then that way they become either assertive, either passive or aggressive. Like you might find that a parent keeps on telling the child that, look here, you are not supposed to talk. Don't look at me when I'm talking. You know, at the end of the day, this child will grow not being confident of themselves. They will not be looking at people. They will not be talking when people are talking. But that doesn't mean they do not have emotions. They're not feeling anything inside. So, and also, people who've gone through traumatic experience, it really changes them. You find that, especially what I've found, people who are bullied usually adopt aggressive communication style. Yes. Or sometimes they can become passive. In that even decision making becomes a problem. Yes.
Okay. So it's not it's not written on stone that your past or your experiences, if they make you communicate in a certain way, you're done for. You can always walk out. So how does one then learn to unlearn being aggressive or being passive and become assertive? How does that happen?
First and foremost, it starts with you knowing what is my preferred communication style. So the moment you know, we say knowledge is power.
Yeah.
So the moment I know that, look here, like for me, it took me some time until I learned that, anyway, I am passive aggressive. So, you know, every day, in every way, I will do something to be assertive. Like the moment I make a decision, I'll start asking myself, am I being passive or assertive? And I would ask myself, what is the assertive thing to do? Okay. So nothing is written on a stone. All of us can learn to change their communication style and become assertive.
Assertive.
Then you realize that even as life presents you with other things, it is easier to recoil back and go back to factory setting.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
But
it's the easy way.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
So every time you start asking yourself, like, if someone was to ask you for 1,000 pounds,
Yeah.
and that's all you have, you know, we were taught that in kindness you give, but we need to realize that kindness also begins with us. It is okay to tell someone that, look here, I need this money and I have it for a reason. But maybe in being assertive, you can tell them, but I can give you 100 bob so that you find out what you can do for now as you sort yourself out. But you know, people start feeling guilty, especially passive people, that, oh, maybe I should have just given them. Then now they go borrowing. That is not the right way to behave. That is usually a passive way to behave.
Okay. So
Yes.
basically what you're saying is it's a journey and we have to remind ourselves every single day that for every decision, so I need to be assertive.
Yes.
And what would an assertive person do in this situation?
Yes.
And just sort of remind ourselves of that and keep doing it.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's that's a good one. I mean, because when you talk about it, I think of, every adult has been through something.
Yes.
And every child is going through something. And even in this time, of the COVID season, everybody's going through something. And all those things can cause you to become passive You
Yes.
want things in a different way, but it's not happening, and you don't really know how to explain it.
Yes.
But you can become aggressive out of frustration.
Yes.
So that unlearning and just reminding yourselves, okay, an assertive person needs to speak out clearly
Yes.
what they want and what their expectations are, regardless of the situation, regardless of the frustration.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a journey that we all need to take.
Yes. And also in being assertive, you realize that we are not living in an island.
Yeah.
So in being assertive, you're also able to ask someone that, look here, what is your opinion on this? And can we meet on this ground? Someone who's assertive, I know you've met them. And it's someone who walks and you're like, wow. Or they talk and you're like, wow, because of that self-confidence. And then you're able, it's a give and take. We realize that life is about give and take.
Yeah.
Yes, so you're right. These are things we can learn. And if anybody is struggling with their communication style, when you see a therapist, they're able to help you because there are exercises we'll give you. There are things we will tell you to do, and we'll start looking at your personality and also the trauma you've gone through that have brought you where you are.
To where you are.
Yes.
Okay, so if I'm having someone struggling or I'm struggling with it, then I can see a therapist.
Yes.
How easy is it to see a therapist in Kenya now?
It is easy.
What's the system? Because there could be someone there wondering, so how do I get in touch with a therapist? Can they just call you? Can they inbox you on Facebook?
Yes,
that
especially
kind of
for
thing.
now, because with calls, when we open our lines for calls, we will not even be sleeping. So I think the best is people can inbox or you can share on the page of the Dancing Brain. Then we will reach out to you and then we shall see what is it that we can do. Who is nearer to you? Because we have a collection of therapists all over the country. Then we can see who's nearer to you and then you make an agreement and you talk about your issues.
Okay, thank you. So there is a solution and there is a way out.
Exactly.
We are not stuck.
Yes.
And I think that's to me, that's the message. That's the thing I'll take from here, that you're not stuck in being passive, in being aggressive. You can move to being assertive, which is the way we should be.
Yes.
And if you're having any difficulties, a therapist will be able to help. And my good friend here is a therapist, and I know that she's available, in this program that she has, Dancing Brain, and just getting out there and helping everybody out. Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie. I truly appreciate you taking your
Yes.
time and having this. And we danced and we had fun.
I know. I hope to dance some more.
Do you know exercises are fun? By the way,
Yeah.
we keep on telling our clients, please exercise. They think, oh, now see, it's difficult. We have to do
The
this.
time.
The time. But you can dance. Put on some radio. Dance in your house. Put on some video. Dance in your house. It is good for you because dancing or exercises really promote the manufacture of feel-good hormones. That is the dopamine. And then you find yourself happy the whole day. So guys, join us in dancing and let us have some fun.
Yeah.